Happy birthday, America. You're 241 years old today, so let's bake a cake, grill some burgers, and get outside and shoot off some fireworks. But just in case you're a completely lazy person, or maybe you've broken both your legs or it's raining outside, I came up with a list of 10 of the greatest war movies ever made.
Number 10, Apocalypse Now, 1979. Directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Starring Martin Sheen, Marlon Brando, and Robert Duvall. Set in the height of the Vietnam War, U.S. Army Captain Willard, played by Martin Sheen, sets out on a mission to destroy a rogue Green Beret colonel named Colonel Kurtz, who is conducting a hit-and-run mission against the Viet Cong and the NVA. Willard sets up on a Nung River on a U.S. Navy patrol boat and discovers his target is a highly decorated officer in the U.S. Army, with hair-raising encounters and all kinds of obstacles that he has to encounter. What will he do? What will his mission come to? Will he be able to fulfill it? Will he not? I don't know. Rent it, buy it, it's out there, it's great. It's long, but it's good. Try it. Number 9, The Hurt Locker, 2008, directed by Catherine Barlow, starring Jeremy Renner, Anthony Mackie, and Brian Garrity. Set in the Iraq War with an elite group that their one job is to detonate bombs, car bombs, any types of bombs. Jeremy Renner plays a rogue soldier that loves war, loves the hell of war, and it's like a drug to him. Will he continue to work with his team or just go off by himself? I don't know. This is definitely one of my favorite movies out there. I wish I would have put it a little bit lower on the list, but you guys understand. There's a lot better movies out there other than this, but check it out and let me know what you think. Number 8, All Quiet on the Western Front, 1930, directed by Louis Milestone. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't really know anybody that was in this movie. It was made so long ago that I'm not a good classic movie history person, but they did a good job in this movie, 1930. It follows a German novel, and it follows soldiers in World War I in trench warfare, which is something new to that time, and it just shows a lot of the conflict that they have to go through and all the craziness that was involved in World War I. Number 8 is All Quiet on the Western Front, so give that a shot. Number 7, Hacksaw Ridge, 2016, directed by Mel Gibson and starring Andrew Garfield, Sam Woodsworth, and Vince Vaughn. It's the story of Dawson Dawes, who is a hero in the war in the Pacific in World War II. He's a pacifist and won't carry a rifle into war, but ends up being a medic and saving hundreds of soldiers' lives. It's definitely a great movie. He was a Medal of Honor winner and had several injuries, but still had to help other men. It's a great movie. You should give it a shot. That's number 7, Hacksaw Ridge. Number 6 is Sergeant York. Released in 1948, it's the biography of World War I veteran Alvin York, who also was a pacifist but ended up having to fight with a gun, and he ended up winning the Medal of Honor as well and several other decorations. And it's a great story. If you haven't read about him, you need to check it out. And this movie depicts him perfectly. And it's an old movie, it's in black and white, but give it a shot because it's a really great movie. Sergeant York comes in at number 6. Number 5, Black Hawk Down, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Edwin McGregor and Tom Sizemore. Yeah, that Tom Sizemore, you know, the one that did porn. Yeah. Anyways, 2001 is the release date of the movie based on a best-selling book detailing the mission to Somalia in October of 1993, when nearly 100 U.S. Rangers were dropped into the capital city to capture 2 lieutenants of the Somalian warlord. It resulted in 2 Black Hawks down and a lot of firefights going on throughout the streets. The film focuses on the effort of various Rangers to get the downed Black Hawks. And yeah, it's definitely a great movie. And when it came out in 2001, it was much higher on my list. But since then, so much more has come out. So Black Hawk Down is number 5. Number 4, Platoon, 1986. Directed by Oliver Stone, starring Charlie Sheen, Tom Berenger, and William Dafoe. Set in the height of the Vietnam War around New recruit Chris Taylor, played by Charlie Sheen, the young American struggles with a new life in the Army, and especially in Vietnam, with two non-commissioned officers constantly at each other's throats and most of the platoon taking sides. What will happen when one of the officers is killed by another? I don't know. Great movie. I do know. You have to check it out, though. I'm not going to ruin it for you, so spoilers for that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Number 3, The Bridge on the River Kwai, directed by David Lane, starring William Holden and Alec Guinness. His last name is Guinness. 1957. The film deals with a group of British soldiers that were taken prisoner of war during World War II by the Japanese, who ordered them to build a bridge. At their first instinct, though, they think they should sabotage the situation, but they don't. Under the leadership of Colonel Nicholson, they continue to construct the bridge as a symbol for the British morale. I'm not going to go into much more detail because, once again, spoilers. It's an older movie from 1957, but still a good one, so check it out. Number 2, Gettysburg, 1993, directed by Ron Maxwell, starring Tom Berenger, Martin Sheen, and Stephen Lang. The movie is depicted at the turning point of the American Civil War, featuring thousands of war reenactors marching over the exact ground where the Federal Army and the Army of Northern Virginia fought. The movie is based off of the novel by Michael Sierra, The Killer Angels, and it's definitely one of my favorite movies. It follows Robert E. Lee, James Longstreet, and Joseph Chamberlain, and it definitely looks at the fighting that happened on Little Round Top and Pickett's Charge, and also the great cannonade of the Battle of Gettysburg. It's an old movie, and I wish they would have continued making the trilogy, but they didn't. They actually only stopped with one other movie, Gods and Generals. So hopefully one day they can finish making the other movie in the trilogy. And number 1, Saving Private Ryan, 1998, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Hanks, Matt Damon, and Tom Sizemore. Yeah, that same Tom Sizemore. Opens with the Allied invasion of Normandy in June 1944. Members of the Rangers 2nd Battalion, under the command of Captain Miller, played by Tom Hanks, fight to secure the beachhead, and continue to fighting on as they have to find one brother of 4, whose other 3 brothers were killed in action, and he has a free ticket home to be with his mother. One of the greatest movies, definitely. So many soldiers, veterans of the actual war, couldn't even watch it because the movie was so true to what actually happened. And it definitely hits home. That first scene, the fighting on the beachhead in Normandy, was just insane. Still, even almost 20 years later, still insane. Great movie, check it out. You need to watch it. You'll have a different perspective of war and what our soldiers actually have to go through.